All right. Good evening. I'm Paul Cook from Y98 Radio, here to kick off the pre-show for the 2020 Champions of Hope at Home event to benefit the American Cancer Society. You can't beat the commute, right? Really good commute time tonight. During this portion, you're going to enjoy entertainment from St. Louis and Joanna Sorinko, finalist on The Voice. So cool. Also, President of Lodging and Hospitality Management, my friend Steve O'Laughlin is going to be our mixologist. You got to hear that as well, so stay here. Also, probably the most important, inspiring messages from guests who benefited from the Society's Hope Lodge, which is why we are here. But first, I'd like to introduce an in-studio guest with us this evening, Christina Hummer. Christina is one of the brilliant artists from the Society's 42 Doors of Hope campaign. And she's going to be doing something really cool, working on a special piece of art during our program all night. Let's check in with her. Christina, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
This is fun,
yes.
right? Unprecedented stuff right here. Tell us what you're working on.
I'm really excited to be here and to create this special piece. It has a very simple message, and that is, you are never alone. And I feel like that really speaks to everybody, not just those afflicted with cancer, but everyone today, especially with the pandemic and all the emotions happening.
Absolutely. Anxious times indeed.
Right.
And you'll be able to bid on this throughout the night, which is, we'll be telling you a lot more. Can't wait to check in. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Enjoy this pre-show. Don't go anywhere.
The first time I heard about Hope Lodge was when my cousin was staying there during her treatments a few months back. She was staying there and we were able to visit her and have dinner with her, and that was really nice.
So the mission of Hope Lodge is to provide a home away from home for patients who are undergoing active cancer treatment so that they can feel comfortable in the environment with all the other things that they are dealing with through this process. You must live at least 40 miles outside of the city.
Hope Lodge is here to bridge that gap between finding the best treatment and the best place to come to heal and provide that hope free of charge, so you don't have to worry about that financial burden amongst everything else. So it offers, obviously a free bed, a free place to stay,
as well as the ability for them to prepare their own meals, a laundry facility where they can wash their own clothing.
You got to worry about what's the insurance going to pay. How am I going to pay for this? I got to take off time from work, so I may not be making money to pay for these things that I need to do.
There is no limit to how long you can stay here while you're undergoing your treatment. We have had individuals to end up staying here for 1 year.
Something like the Hope Lodge helps them deal with it financially, gives them access to some of the best doctors in the world, provides them a place as you leave your home, that makes you feel at home, and actually provides people that know what you're going through.
To take one stressor away of not having to pay for travel, not having to pay for a place to stay, and having somewhere safe and clean to just have a home base between your treatments is huge.
Being that we serve those outside of the city, many people in the city are not aware of who we are.
We were looking to create that awareness for St. Louisans, so they knew what Hope Lodge was, but also raising funds to renovate the building. And we're lucky enough to be able to do that with an existing building that we have.
There are going to be 42 suites where people who are going through cancer treatment from outside of St. Louis can stay while they're getting their treatment. And so we got artists around St. Louis to each paint a different door. So we'll have 42 unique doors inspired by their own story, the story of a patient. And so we'll have an installation around St. Louis, the entire metro area, where there will be doors placed all around, and each one will represent a different artist's story.
Through 42 Doors, we're really encouraging, everybody safely to come out and visit the different doors. We have them scattered throughout the city.
These doors will bring them to focus on Hope Lodge and see what we offer cancer patients while they're going through some of the most difficult times of their lives.
I hope that my door can speak to them and give them peace and just happiness.
The demo crews come in, we cap the water off, they've come through, ripped out everything. walls, ductwork, everything. They take it down. They take it down to beams and concrete. There's a lot going on. A lot going on. It's going to be really nice when it's said and done.
Probably the neatest welcoming change is guest suites. The caregiver that's coming with the patient can bring their laptop and work if they need to in the guest suite while the patient may be sleeping in the next room. So I think that's going to be a game changer. We're going to have more welcoming kind of kitchen and areas where people can gather. The space will be much nicer and larger and just facilitate that kind of community that people love here.
The positive impact it can have on so many different people, and seeing the trauma that cancer has created on people that I know personally very well makes me want to get involved, and that's why I did.
You know, the opportunity to do something big and impactful across the region, to touch a lot of lives, to raise funds, which will in turn touch even more lives, that was just too big of an opportunity for us not to do.
Hope Lodge does amazing things for individuals, for families, and helping them through their tough times. And the idea that I'm able to push through and help Hope Lodge, help other families, just feels really good and really important to me.
When you got to pick your dad up and down out of chairs, and you've been in places like this where you just got to sit there and have somewhere to stay and rest your head at night, and you don't have to worry about going to a hotel. It's the world.
We certainly need the community to be a part of it, to see what we do and to be a part of the success story of Hope Lodge.
Hope Lodge is just one of those mechanisms that has helped so many people, not only in St. Louis, but across the country, get the treatment they need and hopefully go on to live a really, really great life.
Hello, thank you so much for joining us at the Champions of Hope Gala. My name is Joanna Sarenko. I'm a singer-songwriter from St. Louis. To my left is Tyler Dale, and we are going to be performing a few originals for you tonight. I hope you enjoy them. Baby, can we start over? Let go of our history. I just want you to sit with me and see me like it's the first time. Maybe we can just rewind. Baby, can we start over? Let go of our history. I just want you to sit with me and see me like it's the first time. Maybe we can just rewind. Oh, 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 no, 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 no. Oh, 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 no, 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 no. Baby, can we start over? I don't want nobody else. Don't you remember how it felt to hold me like it's the first time? And maybe we can just rewind. Oh, 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 no, 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 no. Oh, 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 no, 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 no. I need your energy, your body next to me. I love you from your head down to your feet. I need your energy, your body next to me. Said I love you, I love you. I need your energy, your body next to me. Said I love you from your head down to your feet. I need your energy, your body next to me. Said I love you, I love you. Baby, can we start over? Let go of our history. I just want you to sit with me and love love me like it's the first time, baby. And maybe we can just rewind. Oh, 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 no, 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 no. Oh, 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 no, 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 no. Maybe we can just rewind.
Hi everyone, my name is Tanya Murphy. I live in Hope, Arkansas, and it is about 10 hours a drive for us. My dad has leukemia. He's in remission at the moment. And we were kind of worried at first where we were going to stay, where we were going to eat, because they had informed us that we would be there at least 3 to 4 months, depending on the process with my dad, how, you know, he was going with the treatments and stuff. So we had talked to his social worker at Barnes Jewish Hospital, and they had told us about this place called the Hope Lodge. The Hope Lodge is wonderful. It gave me a sense of stability, so my dad didn't have to worry about things. I kind of like took over as his caregiver. And the Hope Lodge just brought so much to the table that we didn't have to worry about. To see my dad not have to worry about things. He could go in the room and lay down and not have to worry about being woke up. He could rest. And then they have other things there where you could, like bingo, where you can get out and interact with other patients. And for me, it was great to do that because I was able to contact other caregivers, and we became family, because you come there as strangers, but you leave as family. And that really holds so true. And I still keep in contact with some of them people today. And, you know, whenever you have to go somewhere and they tell you that you're going to stay there 3 to 4 months, you know, it takes you away from your family that's back home. But my dad is my heart, and I would do anything for him. We had to come to Hope Lodge because we did a half match, and I got to give him some stem cells right before Father's Day. So that was really rewarding for me to be able to do something for my dad. And it's not something that you look to give back. Another thing, saying that reminds me of staying at the Hope Lodge, and I would help some of the staff at night stock stuff for the next day, clean, pull the blinds, because that was my home away from home. And it was a great feeling that we did not have to worry about things such as lodging or food. And, you know, I've been to St. Louis before, but I didn't know the streets and stuff, you know, and they drive really fast there. But the main important thing is Hope Lodge is a place away from home. The staff there were wonderful. I mean, I got to know them personally because we stayed there for 4 months. And it just brings people together, because we fight better together than alone. And just because we're caregivers, we need that support as well as the patients need the support of other patients and others. And it was really rewarding to be able to be there with my dad and to be able to go through things with my dad. And I take him to his appointments now, and there's nothing that I wouldn't change during that time. And I just want to thank everyone who became a part of our lives and who still is a part of our lives, as the main important thing here is the patients. And when we come together, we got that fist that we can fight with, and we make friends, and friends become family, and that's what was important, and that's what we need in this world is love.
sweet like candy, sugar on my lips. Calls me baby, gives me love and makes me breakfast. But I can see it now. I'm scared I lose it somehow. Let it slip through my hands. Yeah. I don't know why he still hangs around. 'Cause like everything I've ever known, I bet he's gonna disappear somehow. And though I hope I'm wrong, I gotta make myself strong in case he slips through my hands. Yeah. Though all is well, I guess time will tell where it goes. I don't ever wanna see you hanging around with anyone but me. I won't let you slip through my fingertips. No, no, no. No, no, no. Don't mean to doubt you, baby. I love everything you do. I just can't help but imagine a single day without you. So through your darkest nights, I'm gonna hold it so tight, won't let you slip through my hands. Yeah. If you stick with me, baby, we can see where it goes. I don't wanna see you fall in love with anyone but me. I won't let you slip through my fingertips.
Good evening, everybody. This is Steve O'Loughlin from the LHM. We are at our 360 rooftop bar. Tonight we're going to be making a craft cocktail, the French 75. It's great to be with everyone here tonight, virtually celebrating our Champions of Hope Gala. So I'd like to introduce our mixologists. We have Amber and Blaze.
Hello.
So Blaze is going to kick us off.
We're going to make a French 75. We do this in the Grand Hall. It's a classic cocktail. It started in 1915 in a New York bar in Paris. So we'll start it off here. So what's in your batch is actually for 2 cocktails. This is sometimes made with cognac or gin. We're going to do a little bit lighter side, and we're going to do it with gin. You have gin, which will be 2 ounces, an ounce of simple syrup, and 3/4 lemon juice.
Go Blaze. Take it up. This looks a lot easier than cooking food at Hope Lodge with Ann Mar. Now I'm a lot more competent at making drinks than I am making food with Ann Mar.
You guys will have a cured lemon peel in yours. You just top it with the champagne.
Looking good, Blaze.
All right. Give you that. Throw in your rock candy.
Give it a little stir.
Give it a little bit of a stir.
So a French 75.
French 75. Cheers.
Cheers to everyone.
All right.
Let's raise our glasses. Thanks to all of you for everything that you do for American Cancer Society, for our CEOs Against Cancer chapter. A special thanks to Jim Cavanaugh for leading our Hope Lodge capital campaign this year. Hope everyone has a great evening. This has been a lot of fun. Cheers to all of you. And cheers to you.
Cheers, cheers.
There we go. Ooh, that's good.
It is good.
You are my starshine in the darkest of nights. So shine, won't you shine your light upon my face, and we'll fly up into outer space. You are the glimmer on the sea in the daytime. You will be hidden away from me, but come the evening you will be back within my view, and you keep on shining just like you always do. Someone's hoping that you grant their wishes, but if I got you, I don't want nothing different. You're my starshine and you always will be mine. You're my star, and you always will be mine. Hey. Hey. Someone's hoping that you grant their wishes. But if I got you, I don't want nothing different. Oh, 'cause you're my star shining, and you always will be mine. You're my star shine, and you always will be mine. You're my star shine, and you always will be mine.
These days, it's easy to feel helpless. Like the world moves without regard for love. Like together is a past tense, and our future is uncertain. It's easy to feel like our problems are too big to solve.
I asked myself, why me? But then I realized that cancer doesn't discriminate. Cancer can happen to anybody.
But every big problem is just a series of small ones. The vague but striking fear of a diagnosis, lessened with every late-night question answered. The complex web of individual diseases, untangled with every rogue cell understood. The reality that treatment is out of reach, eliminated with every right to treatment coordinated, and every place to stay secured. The overwhelming burden of the work left to do lowered with every fundraising goal met and every life-saving bill passed. We can't end cancer alone. But when each one of our 1.5 million volunteers, staff, and researchers solves a small problem, hope gets bigger.
Yeah. y'all.
Well, hello. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the 5th Annual American Cancer Society Champions of Hope Gala, led by the Society CEOs Against Cancer of Missouri, St. Louis chapter. This is also presented by Clayco, and this gala is happening right here tonight. You don't even have to go buy a new dress. Just sit, take it in. I'm Paul Cook, born and raised right here in the great city of St. Louis. And you know, as a survivor of advanced stage rectal cancer twice in the past 3 years, I have benefited from the famous St. Louis generosity in so many ways. And I hope to support you in magnifying that love this evening. And really, that's why I am here. But we really, really need you. We're going to have a good show, though. It's going to be entertaining and uplifting. And we're raising that money for the American Cancer Society to save lives, celebrate lives, and lead the fight for a world without cancer. My, oh my, we have some really enticing auction items too, Cardinal experiences, a trip to Hawaii, beer for a year. That's pretty cool, right? So here's the thing. If you haven't already, please get registered on the site that you see here. Look at me right between the arch here. I'm going to be coming to you live from some really cool spots all around St. Louis. You're going to have to check that out as well. So I've got to tell you, to kick things off, we've got to introduce the CEO of the American Cancer Society to say a few words. Here's Gary Reedy.
Thanks for the introduction. I'm joining you with my wife Cindy from our home in Atlanta. Usually, we'd be greeting you in person as we gather for this exciting annual event in St. Louis. But these are certainly not usual times.
That's right. This year, so much has changed. But one thing that has not changed is our commitment to our mission to save lives, celebrate lives, and lead the fight for a world without cancer.
Never before in our 107-year history has our mission been at risk like this. Your support this evening is going to support the Hope Lodge St. Louis that offers cancer patients a free place to stay, a place to heal, and a place to call home. Your gift helps ensure the Hope Lodge St. Louis will be available for years to come for those who will turn to us for support during their cancer journey. We are so grateful for our amazing volunteers and partners who made the night possible. I especially want to thank our event chairs, Bob and Dr. Jane Clark, who we had the pleasure of meeting at the Champions of Hope Gala in 2018. I also want to thank our presenting sponsor, Clayco, and the CEOs Against Cancer of Missouri, St. Louis chapter members, for their ongoing support. We are so grateful for all you are doing.
We are so inspired by the determination of our St. Louis volunteers, partners, and staff and friends who made tonight possible. Your commitment to the American Cancer Society makes a huge difference in the fight against cancer. We simply could not do our work without you.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for supporting our life-saving mission. We hope you enjoy the evening and look forward to watching the event with you. Cheers!
Hi, I'm CJ, and this is my beautiful wife, Brenda, and I'm a conqueror of cancer. And I know just how important the Hope Lodge is to families, because several years ago, we traveled well over 100 miles each way from our home in Cape Girardeau to St. Louis for my treatments, not knowing what we were going to do. We had no idea how much this was going to cost or what we were going to face, but in the midst of all of that, we were thankful to be introduced to the Hope Lodge. We walked through the front doors feeling encouraged and knowing that we were walking into an environment that gave us hope. And in the face of my treatments, I expected a whole lot less than what I received, and we are very blessed for it. But not only were we blessed by the environment from the staff, we were blessed by the very members that were hosting or a part of the Hope Lodge experience as well. They made a difference in our lives, and they made a difference, we know, to everything that we were going through. We are Hope Lodge, and you know what? You are too. And that's a very powerful statement, because when you think about it, what have we done without you guys? With your support, we have made Hope Lodge, and we are continuing to sustain the Hope Lodge. Right now, we are in the midst of having a brand new facility that is being built. And because of your generosity and your touch, you and I and everyone else that has been impacted by cancer are able to see a building that will be something of significance for all those that are facing cancer. We're offering this great opportunity for all of those that are part of this, that are dealing not only with cancer, but want to support those that are going through this to be a part of this great campaign, to watch this brand new facility that is being right now built before our very eyes, to have an opportunity to be a part of this amazing thing that we call the Hope Lodge. And we just want to say thank you for all that you've done and for all that we know you will do for the future.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Gary, for being with us tonight and for your leadership of the ACS, and CJ, you too as well. I mean, this is an incredible event and an incredible cause worthy of celebration, as St. Louis has been so instrumental in helping build this amazing new Hope Lodge, which is just gorgeous. It's only fitting that our theme tonight is Doorway to Hope, because, you know, you're providing that doorway for so many. Hope for the best treatment no matter where you live. And Hope Lodge is that doorway to hope for so many, no matter where you live or, you know, if you could pay or not. As a St. Louisan who received crucial treatment at Siteman Cancer Center, I know that fear, I know that anxiety, and I know that, you know, everybody deserves that type of care. So throughout the night, you're going to hear stories from people who know firsthand the importance of Hope Lodge. Really cool. You know, as we move on, I'm going to look at this thermometer to tell you exactly how much we're doing. But if you're feeling it, you know, right here in the heart area, we would love you to give. Please. Champions of Hope Gala has grown into one of the most successful American Cancer Society galas in the country. So yeah, we're looking at it, St. Louis. We're checking out our little thermometer here, our moneyometer, donationometer. I'll think of something, but there it is. And wow, what incredible generosity as we update that live, even through the pandemic. You know, I think we maybe could set a little goal for ourselves now that I'm looking at it. 950. Let's get up to 950, 1 million on the horizon, something like that, you know. St. Louis is such an incredible charitable community. And, you know, this event, we're going to be doing all of that, but we want to thank everybody for their leadership throughout all of these times to help and build this incredible, incredible place. So please give if you can. And I don't know what's coming up next here. Now we're going to recognize the presenting sponsor of the evening, Clayco. Thank you for your generosity and commitment to the American Cancer Society. So I've got to introduce the chairs of the 2020 Champions of Hope fundraiser, this whole thing, and founder as well, chairman of Clayco, Bob Clark, and his wife, Dr. Jane Clark.
You try kissing, honey, kiss? Okay. Oh, wait a minute. You can't kiss with these stupid masks on. Anyway, aren't you just sick of COVID? But we can take our masks off because we've been living together.
For a very, very long time.
Feels like a long time. But we're still in this together. So, hey, thanks everybody for being with us tonight. We know this is a difficult kind of situation by Zoom and everything, but thank you for tuning in. And
we want to thank Paul for the energy that he brings to this show.
Thanks, Paul. That's great. We also want to thank our corporate sponsors. We know that it's hard to get together right now, and so a lot of events have been canceled, but our corporate sponsors really stuck with us this year, and we appreciate it. We also want to thank our past chairs, our good friends Warner Baxter, Michael Nydorf, Dave Stewart, and Paul Blumeyer. Thank you guys for your past support and bringing me to the table to help with this worthy cause. We also want to
thank Joel Neeb for their inspirational story we're going to hear about later on in the show.
Yeah, so thank you all. And then I just want to say, during COVID, cancer has still been with us. It's going to be with us for the long haul, and we need to fight it every day. We've all been impacted. I know at Clayco, many of our family members, some of my immediate family, everybody knows somebody who's been impacted negatively by cancer, and we have to be in this together to fight it. So we appreciate everything that everybody is doing. The American Cancer Society is on the tip of the spear, making this fight happen, and we need to continue to support it. So thanks for joining us tonight, and let's have a great time.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Like you.
Good evening. My name is Peter Blumeyer, and I serve as the president of UMB St. Louis in the Minnesota regions. As the chair of the 2019 Champions of Hope Gala, I have seen firsthand what impact this event can have for the American Cancer Society. At UMB, we are passionate about this cause, and I am committed to American Cancer Society's mission of saving lives, celebrate lives, and lead the fight against cancer. As we look at 2020 and reflect on this year with a global pandemic that has gripped the nation, I know it can be tough at times to see light in the world, but tonight is our moment to show our light and to bring hope to those who are desperately seeking. With that, I want to thank all of you for the impact you have had and will have tonight. I am proud also of the impact we have had with the Hope Lodge, raising over $10 million under the leadership of Jim Kavanaugh. To everyone attending tonight, please take a moment to consider the impact that cancer has had on your lives. I hope you will stand with me in supporting ACS's mission and give generously to help fund breakthrough research, assist patients, and to keep our community informed. Again, this is our moment to take on cancer and to help create a world where we no longer have to live with this disease. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for all you're going to do. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michelle Strasbaugh, and I was first diagnosed with cancer in 2015. I was from a small town in Quincy, Illinois, and my cancer was a very rare cancer. Nobody had ever seen it where I was from. They referred me to St. Louis, where I met the best team of doctors I could have found. And they told me I was going to have some extensive surgeries, lots of radiation, and lots of time for healing. So I thought, oh, wow, how am I ever going to afford to stay in a hotel and eat out for, however many weeks it was going to take? And my doctor and his staff told me about the Hope Lodge, and that was the best thing anybody could have told me. We went there. I stayed there with my caretaker the first time for 5 weeks, and everyone there, it turns into a whole family. All the patients together and the caretakers, the Hope Lodge tries to keep us sane when you're not sane. They plan activities, the healing touch every week, where people come in and just try to heal doing touch maneuvers on you. They have bingo. Different groups come in to cook for the patients and their caregivers, and they just give you so much hope where you just don't think you can find it. I was also diagnosed again in 2016, 17, and 18. So I did 3.5 years worth of cancer on 4 different rounds. Each time I came to the Hope Lodge for doctor's appointments, just overnight stays, to where I stayed there for 1.5 months at a time with my caregivers. And you form a big family with everybody there, the staff, the other patients, the other caregivers. It just gives you hope somewhere where you just don't think you can find it. And the staff and all the people that have donated to make it possible for people who can't afford hotel rooms for months on end, and places to stay, and family and support, and it's just awesome. I'd like to thank everybody that donates to the Hope Lodge for giving patients hope, for helping us get through everything that we go through, and all the awful times. They just make it so much better. And I can say now, for the help of the Hope Lodge, I am 2 years clean of cancer right now. So once again, thank you all for donating to the Hope Lodge, and please continue, because we all need your hope and prayers and support. And just thanks again for helping us and making everybody as comfortable as they can and helping everyone with cancer. Thank you so much.
Well, isn't this nice? Right here, coming to you from our new St. Louis aquarium. I'm going to go in a little bit later and see if we have some sea lions that want to be part of our show. I want to thank Bob and Jane for your leadership, and thank you to all of our sponsors. You know, I was watching. Did you hear her comment, Michelle? She said, "Because of the Hope Lodge, I am cancer free." What an incredible thing! And you know, you have the opportunity tonight to provide hope to cancer patients like Michelle. Earlier in the pre-show, I introduced you to Christina Hummer, one of the artists for the 42 Doors of Hope campaign. And, you know, speaking of 42 doors, if you didn't know, we actually have a few of those incredible doors up for auction tonight. So make sure you check those out. All right, now let's check in with this incredible person, Christina, who is doing a live painting for us tonight. Hello.
Hey, Paul.
This is unbelievable. Tell me more about what's going on, Christina.
So yeah, I am creating a piece that's going to be auctioned off tonight, and the winning bidder will get to choose whether he or she wants to keep it for themselves or have it displayed inside Hope Lodge.
I love it. Keep going. I feel like I'm distracting you from your genius here.
No, you're not.
Thank you for donating your time and for everything.
All right.
Really appreciate it. As I mentioned, this event is one of the largest galas for the ACS in the country. And a guy who had the vision to create this one that we're doing, the inaugural year, he also was the chair, and he started the CEOs Against Cancer chapter. And what a dynamo. I want to introduce you to the CEO of Ameren, Mr. Warner Baxter.
Well, thank you, Paul, and good evening, everyone. Cindy and I are so happy to be with you tonight, virtually from our house with a nice glass of wine, to be clear. And so, look, we'd really like to be together with you in person, but the reality is we're all doing the right thing. We're being safe. And we're all doing the right thing by being part of this gala virtually. And so we want to start with appreciation. First, appreciation to all of you for being part of the gala here tonight. Like I said, virtually, but it's every bit of as important as if we're in person. And of course, we want to express our appreciation to our two chairpersons, Bob and Jane Clark. They've been such great community leaders for so long, and they're such great champions for the mission of the American Cancer Society. So Bob and Jane, thank you so much for that. You know, the Champions of Hope Gala, has a special place in our hearts. We had the great privilege to be the inaugural chairpersons for the Champions of Hope Gala, several years ago. And when we thought about it, we said, there's some real specific things that we wanted this gala to be all about raising cancer awareness. We wanted it to be about standing side by side with those literally miracle workers, the doctors, the researchers, the nurses, all those who give so much incredible care to those with cancer. And certainly we want to stand there with all the volunteers for the American Cancer Society who give up countless hours to help those in need. And yes, we want to remember those that we've lost along the way. And we especially want to honor those who are the real heroes in the fight. Those who are dealing with cancer today and their families and all their caregivers. Tonight, we come together to give you hope. Tonight, we come together to stand side by side with you. Because that's why we call this the Champions of Hope Gala, because we do want to give hope. And so tonight, we want to make sure we give you hope by raising important funds for research, important funds for Hope Lodge, important funds to make your life better. And so tonight, I hope you join Cindy and I and the Ameren Foundation. We're going to contribute $50,000 to the effort tonight. So please join us if you will. And so, as I began with appreciation, I want to finish with appreciation. But it's a special appreciation because it's at this point in the evening that we also honor our heroes, our mission heroes for the American Cancer Society. Every year we honor those, whether it's a company or individuals. And Ameren was humbled and honored to get that honor many years ago. So tonight, though, it's a special honor. It's for those that are on the front lines who are keeping us safe and well during what's an absolutely unprecedented time. To the healthcare workers, to those in the police and fire protection, to the grocery workers, to the teachers, to the utility workers, and of course, once again, to those who are there dealing with cancer and being caregivers, and of course, our real heroes, those who are fighting cancer. And so tonight, we raise a glass to all of you for the incredible things that you do. And so please sit back and enjoy this video for our real heroes.
We often hear about the frontline heroes, doctors, nurses, technicians, and other healthcare professionals treating people with COVID-19. At the same time, another variety of heroes has emerged, the essential worker. These often unsung heroes, including grocery store clerks, delivery drivers, food service providers, and mail carriers, among others, put their lives at risk each day to keep us safe. Tonight, we'd like to honor and thank all those heroes working hard every day to keep us safe.
Thank you to all the teachers, childcare providers, and staff who are working tirelessly to provide an education to our children during this time, be it in the classroom or virtually. We appreciate all that you are doing and your passion for helping our children.
Thank you for being there on the front lines as a healthcare worker. We are grateful for your service, time, and sacrifices that you are giving to our community. You are truly appreciated.
As we work through this global pandemic, I just want to thank from the bottom of my heart all of our essential workers and frontline workers all throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. Thank you very much for all you do.
Thank you to all workers who continue to provide essential services during this time. Your hard work and efforts do not go unnoticed. There are no words that can express our gratitude.
The COVID-19 enemy is new, but the spirit needed to fight it, that is something we understand. Our hearts go out to all who are impacted physically or financially by the pandemic. Thank you to all our essential workers for your courage and commitment to our community. Thank you for being a champion of hope.
Hello, I'm Michael Neidorff, Chairman and CEO of the Centene Corporation. The Centene Charitable Foundation is a proud sponsor of the American Cancer Society's Champions of Hope Gala. Though this event may look a bit different than in years past, thank you for joining us. As a St. Louis chapter member of CEOs Against Cancer, I'm proud to join other businesses and other business leaders in lending my support. Together we fight to save lives and address the unique needs of individuals impacted by cancer. At Centene, we are committed to improving the health of more than 25 million members across the country. We believe that healthier individuals create more vibrant families and communities. The American Cancer Society is a remarkable organization, and it's an honor to partner with people so focused on good stewardship and innovation. Cancer does not discriminate by age, race, or economic status. Whether you've been affected firsthand, supported a loved one through treatment, or comforted a friend or neighbor, we hope you will stand with us in supporting the American Cancer Society's mission to fight all cancers on all fronts. I'm proud of what we've been able to accomplish together, and I know there is so much more work to be done. Again, thank you for joining us, and thank you, Bob Clark, for taking the chair this year and helping so much, because everybody's contribution will have a meaningful impact on those who need it most.
I'm Jeff Hobson, Head of Investor Relations for RGA. On behalf of RGA and our entire workforce, we thank the American Cancer Society for the work they do on behalf of cancer patients and their families, and we thank all of the support from you. As one of the world's leading reinsurance companies, we see the impact that cancer has on the lives of patients and their loved ones. And through our partnerships with insurance companies around the world, RGA helps to support those who have lost someone to this disease. We are proud that part of our company's mission is to support organizations like the American Cancer Society as they work to support research, treatment, and prevention of cancer. So whether you're a healthcare worker, a scientist, a donor, a volunteer, a survivor, a friend, or family member, we at RGA stand with you. And we thank the American Cancer Society for all of the great work they do.
Hi, my name is Steve Hamilton. I'm the CEO of CSI Leasing. CSI is proud once again to be a sponsor of the American Cancer Society's Champions of Hope Gala. This year, CSI is dedicating a sponsorship in remembrance of CSI employee Louise Dove, who passed away from cancer this summer at the age of 47. Louise leaves behind a husband and 2 teenage children. Unfortunately, Louise's case may be an example of where earlier detection and treatment might have made a difference. Louise felt sick in January of 2020, but did not seek a definitive diagnosis until June, partly because of COVID restrictions and lockdowns in effect at hospitals. And as a result, when she was finally diagnosed in June, the cancer was so invasive that she passed away 4 weeks later. Now, Louise is not the first CSI employee to be affected or to die from cancer, and odds are that she won't be the last. However, it is our hope that by supporting the American Cancer Society and supporting this gala, that we will continue to spread the gospel of early detection and early treatment and hopefully minimize the devastation that this illness causes. Hope that everyone has a good time this evening, and thank you for your support of the American Cancer Society.
All right, some important messages there. A big one is, I'll meet you right by the Stan Musial statue. How many times have you said that? Want to make sure we do thank for the great leadership, Warner and Cindy, and they're just incredible support of this event and mission every year, and it deserves repeating. A huge shout out to our essential workers and their heroism during these days. It's just so important to get the support of St. Louisans and St. Louis companies like the ones you've seen during these really, really tough times, because cancer, is still such a core concern. And even though you're dealing with this new enemy, of COVID, the people involved in our community still have an unwavering support, and they continue to support other cancer patients with the Hope Lodge. But you're a big part of that tonight. So thank you to Centene, RGA, CSI Leasing for sharing why you support the American Cancer Society. I've heard a lot of good things about last year's VIP guest. You might recognize this guy. Go ahead.
Good day, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know when you are going to be watching this, but I wish you well, whatever time of day it is. I'm Sterling Brown, Sterling Kelby Brown, Sterling K. Brown, and I had the good fortune of being with you all last year in person to raise money for the Hope Lodge. It has been quite a year, hopefully a few ups. I know some tumultuous times, but just because we can't be gathered together in person doesn't mean we can't bring a little hope. Specifically, we came together for the Hope Lodge to raise money for funds to build said lodge. We are a year later, and that lodge is built. Way to go, St. Louis. If you want to clap. I don't know if you can or not. So this year, I'm making a call out to everyone to help raise funds to truly make the Hope Lodge a home. The Gala is raising money for operational funds to buy beds and furniture, artwork, washing machines, keeping the lights on, making this place a special place, not just four walls and a roof, but a place where people feel like they're their best selves under the circumstances, a place that feels comfortable, that's inviting, because that's important, it's important. Anyway, I miss my hometown. I miss you all very much. I had to sit here and watch the Dodgers celebrate, blah, blah, blah. But I love you all. I guess I should just say bye and quit meandering. But if it is in your hearts to give to further the development of the Hope Lodge, then I ask that you do so, recognizing that whatever you give shall be returned unto you. Thank you. God bless you. I'll talk to you later.
everyone. Ann Marr here from Worldwide Technology. I am honored to be a part of the American Cancer Society's Champions of Hope Gala. It's a virtual event this year. I also want to call out the staff. They have done an amazing job on this virtual event. I'm also so proud of our CEO, Jim Cavanaugh, for leading this effort. The Hope Lodge, such an important organization, such an important place. It provides housing for families and their patients as they're going through treatment. For me, I'm excited about the new Hope Lodge because I get to cook in the Hope Lodge. Over the last couple years, I have invited CEOs around the St. Louis area to join me in cooking at the Hope Lodge. It is such an inspiring experience to cook and sit with the patients and their families as we have a meal together. So that's really exciting for me. And what you can do to bring the flavors of New Orleans to your home, if you donate $5,000 to this organization for the Champions of Hope Gala, I will come to your door and bring all the spices of New Orleans with me. I'm making a little jambalaya tonight. That can be on your list. You get a copy of my New Orleans cookbook. So please support the American Cancer Society's Champions of Hope Gala.
Wow, that's so cool. You know, great auction items like she was talking about, just some really good ones. Like, I know my wife's going to want to get in on the Kate Spade items. You've also got wine and whiskey, a glamping experience. That's how you camp, a glamping experience, and the Disney sing-along. Make sure you do that or send that to a parent who has a kid who loves Disney. But just keep on bidding. The auction's going to close tonight at 9 p.m. after the show. So you have a little bit, but you got to get on it. I want to make sure we thank some donors who have come through this evening. Oh, man. Tim Fig, Joyce Abusi, the Roden family, Karen and Mike Vanya, and a donation in memory of Maria Corcoran. Thank you for your support of Hope Lodge and for making Hope Lodge a home as we come to you from home tonight. Hopefully you're checking out this one-of-a-kind experience that we're putting together, and I want to thank everyone who's behind that as well. All right, I've been looking forward to this one all night. I'd like to introduce you to our keynote speaker for the evening, Joel Thor Neeb. He's a former F-15 fighter pilot, published author, CEO of Afterburner, and a stage 4 cancer survivor. He's an elite kind of guy. I mean, he was on the elite team as a fighter pilot, the most elite teams doing that, and a leader of an elite team as the CEO of Afterburner. Afterburner has been providing former military support and helping companies to lead through chaos for years and years, 24 years. So please, you're going to like this. Please welcome Joel Neeb.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an honor to address this crowd. You know, what an amazing opportunity to have a conversation about hope in 2020, even in a virtual environment, to connect like this as a group. Thanks for that incredible introduction, Paul. I'd like to talk a little bit more about my journey, and I have to take you back to 2010 in order to do that. Back to a time when I was doing fantastic, riding high on my airplane, the F-15. And to give you an idea what it's like to fly the F-15, this is me standing between the tails of the mighty, mighty F-15 Eagle. And the Eagle is the same dimensions as a tennis court. So if you can picture me sitting around the net of a tennis court and flying that around the sky, going faster than the speed of sound, pulling 9 Gs, which is 9 times the force of gravity. My 200-pound body weighs about 1,800 pounds. That's what it feels like to fly an F-15. Now, when this picture was taken, I was on top of my game, on top of my plane, on top of the world. I was being interviewed to be one of the next Air Force Thunderbird pilots. But life, as it often does, threw me a curveball. That curveball was in the form of cancer. And not just cancer, but stage 4 cancer, an incredibly rare type of cancer. My doctors knew very little about it. And all of a sudden, I was being told that I went from the picture of good health to having about 18 months to live, to having a 15% chance to live 5 years. And so, of course, I'm living a nightmare. The worst point of my life, the hardest days, sleepless nights. And there's something else though that came from that time period. As I'm battling this and I'm stepping up to this cancer, I was thinking often about a quote that really stuck out to me. It's the following adage, that the dying often have the most to teach us about life. You see, in this moment, I had clarity I'd never had before. And it seems like in the end of our lives, we're finally presented with the clarity and the perspective to see what's most important, what the priorities should be, and really what the priorities should have been all along. So I'll tell you from my perspective, as I'm on my proverbial deathbed for about 2 years during this time period, what I had is my epiphanies. As I look back at my life and I'm taking stock of everything that had happened up to that point in my 33 years, my lessons learned from my existence. A couple of surprises. The first surprising thing was what I regretted. I didn't regret what I thought I would. I didn't regret the failures necessarily. And I had tons of failures, and face value into the public. I was flying fighter planes and doing flybys at NFL games and all this crazy fun stuff. But I had a ton of failures leading up to that. I didn't regret those failures. You know what I regretted? I regretted those times when I didn't try. You can take the picture out of the view so I can talk to you closely about this. I regretted those times when I didn't give it a shot, when I allowed the situation to intimidate me, to take control, and I didn't step up to the plate and swing. And that was a big lesson for me, that if I ever got a second chance, I was going to go after my opportunities, and I was going to get outside of my comfort zone and do that in a big way. The second thing I learned, the second surprise, was what I valued. The most important memories to me, they weren't my accolades, they weren't my wall of trophies or the things that I'd done in my life that I thought were important before I got cancer. You know what I valued? It was the times I was on an elite team with an inspiring mission. It was when I went to the Air Force Academy. I was 19 years old and jumping out of airplanes and doing things that terrified me, terror and exhilaration, the combination for my favorite memories. Or when I became a fighter pilot, I'm with a team of people that's willing to put their lives on the line for something bigger than us. Or the team that I was creating with my family, and the inspiring mission that my wife and I were on with our 1- and 3-year-old at the time. And I was on another important team with cancer. I was on a team of cancer warriors that were battling this. I got to see those cancer warriors every week as we went into the chemotherapy room. And we'd have chemo plugged into our veins. And you know about this, it's a poison effectively. And so it's like starting a fire in your house in the attempts to kill a rat. And the poison seeps into you. And you'd think this would be a really depressing place. But here's the magical thing about the chemo room. Everyone's so optimistic. Everyone's talking about what they're going to do when they get better. When I get better, I'm going to go watch the Super Bowl. When I get better, I'm going to go after that second career chapter. When I get better, I'm going to fix that relationship that I've neglected. And everybody talked about what they're going to do. And you know what happened? As the weeks went by, as the months went by, some of those people didn't return. Some of those people didn't get that second chance. And it soon became evident that I was going to get a second chance. And when people survive a situation like that, sometimes you have what psychologists call survivor's remorse. You've heard of this, right? Survivor's remorse is where you actually feel guilty that you've survived something and other people haven't. You say, I fought hard, but everybody else fought just as hard. There's nothing special about me. And you feel depressed and a sense of guilt over living through something when others didn't. Warriors come back from battle with that all the time. I didn't have survivor's guilt. I was so elated that I was getting this second chance. But I did have something that I call survivor's obligation. I have an obligation to live out my life differently because I've been afforded the second chance that everyone in that chemo room would have given anything to have. I needed to change my life. I didn't need to decide how I would live differently with this survivor's obligation, how things would be different. And so what does that look like for me? It comes down to 3 principles. And I'm facing a second opportunity and getting better from cancer. And you don't ever get cured from stage 4. It's no evidence of disease, but it was no evidence disease for several years. And what I realized was that it came down to 3 principles. I wanted to live my life differently based on what I call the 3 Gs. I'm going to share those with you right now. The first G is growth. Every single day, I try to find something that scares me, do something that gets me out of my comfort zone because I know that's the only way that I'll grow. Well, what does that look like? I'm going to tell you a story about 5 years after my initial diagnosis, literally to the day, on a day that my doctors told me with 85% certainty that I'd be dead because 15% survival rate. Instead, I went down to New Zealand and competed in an Ironman triathlon down in New Zealand. Now you got to realize that when I competed in this triathlon, I'd never run a marathon before. My last bike said Huffy on it. And the furthest I'd swum is maybe to go get my ski if it fell off when I was water skiing. And here I was getting outside of my comfort zone, going out in an Ironman triathlon, training for this, putting the day on the calendar, being terrified of it, but having that sense of exhilaration at the same time. Terror and exhilaration. You know, the other thing I did at this point, because I didn't give up here. After this 5-year anniversary, I said, let's keep this going. I tried for a little TV show called American Ninja Warrior. Who here's seen this one? So this is me getting ready for American Ninja Warrior. I actually really like this story for a unique reason. If you watch this show, if you saw me on it, it was a blink and you'll miss it kind of moment because I very quickly ended up in the water. I didn't fall on the first obstacle, but it was pretty quick. Here's what I have to say about that. I was so happy that I wasn't focused on the failure anymore, or what you would have thought about the failure. The pre-cancer me would have been so concerned about that, so worried about that failure. What I'd learned is that no one's really paying attention. I gave myself permission to fail, permission to iterate, never make the same mistake twice. I actually went back to the show again last year, did phenomenal, had a great time. I was gonna go again this year if COVID hadn't stepped in. But the point is you're getting outside your comfort zone. And I had one more comfort zone to get out of. Believe it or not, that comfort zone was this, right behind me. This was the comfort zone that I found myself in 2012 as I'm recovering from cancer, getting back in the cockpit and starting to fly again. Now, when I first started my flying experience, I'm 23 years old, once again, terrifying and exhilarating. Fighter pilots don't say it very often, but we are absolutely terrified the first time that we go upside down. This is me in the picture, by the way, back in the good old days when I was cool. Upside down, the very first time I did this, I have a seatbelt and about a ½ inch of canopy separating me from a 4-mile fall. And you are terrified, but you're exhilarated at the same time and you're growing. You can literally feel the learning happening. But then in 2012, 13, I've been doing this for 13 years. I was upside down. I know exactly when I decided it was time for a career change. I'm upside down in my airplane, just like in this picture. I'm going about 500 miles an hour, and I'm flying in formation with another aircraft. So another plane is 10 feet away from me, literally right in front of me. I'm just below their plane of motion, just below their jet wash, so we're not bouncing around in the jet wash like in Top Gun. And I'm upside down, 500 miles an hour, and I look up, which is down because I'm upside down, and I see the freeway that I got to take home when I drive home that day. And there's an accident. There's a tractor trailer that's tipped over, and there's all these cars, and there's all these emergency vehicles, and it's backed up for miles. And I thought to myself, oh, it is going to take me forever to drive home today. I realized that if I'm worried about my commute home right now, I am firmly planted in my comfort zone, upside down, 500 miles an hour, 10 feet away from another aircraft. It was time for me to go find something else. It taught me that it was time to jump out of this chapter, which I loved, and go find a new one. And I had the opportunity to do that. Today, I'm the leader of Afterburner. We're a team of former Army Rangers, Navy SEALs, and fighter pilots that takes what we learned on the battlefield and translates that to the boardroom to help teams to lead to the same principles that made us successful during chaotic environments. But once again, it was terrifying and exhilarating to make that transition. Growth. The second G is giving. Giving is the most selfish thing that you can do. I'll tell you, when I was going through my chemotherapy treatments, my hair turned silver, fell out. I looked like a shell of a man, completely different. I looked like I aged 40 years. And I would be a part of these youth outreach programs during this time frame. And I go help these kids in these incredibly impoverished parts of San Antonio where I lived. 35% graduation rate, just a really tough, home environment, all the challenges you can imagine. And I was helping these kids out. We're training them. We're helping them to go to school more. And we actually helped to boost that graduation rate over a couple of years to 60%. Here's what I learned. Here's why giving is so selfish. Because when I was doing this, I literally would forget about my cancer. I'm not saying that euphemistically. I literally would forget, because you cannot help somebody else out and feel sorry for yourself. You cannot reach down to pick somebody else up without remembering all the blessings that you have in your life, which takes me to my last G, gratitude. Gratitude's a big one for me. And to illustrate how important this one is, I have to tell you about my worst day, the worst day of my life. This day occurred a couple weeks after my initial cancer diagnosis. I was driving to Houston from San Antonio. I was going to the incredible MD Anderson Hospital. Most of you know of it if you have had friends in cancer. It's the hospital you want to go to. It's the best doctors. It's the specialists. And I should have felt great about this, because I really fought hard to get this hospital. It wasn't easy to get it. But I had this immense feeling of dread as my family and I are driving to this hospital. And the miles would tick by, and the dread was overwhelming and getting worse, to the point where finally we get there, my wife drops me off, and it's just sinking me, and I cannot understand why I feel this way. And as I'm walking up to MD Anderson, I'm looking up to this massive building in downtown Houston, it dawns on me why I'm feeling so anxious. It's because I'm walking into the building that I'm gonna die in. And I'm gonna die here pretty soon, for the next 18 months. And it all just hit me. I sat there and I looked up and I closed my eyes, and tears are streaming down. And I said, God, I don't deserve this. I've done everything right. I've taken care of my body. I've taken care of my family. My 1- and 3-year-old don't deserve to not have a father. My wife doesn't deserve to not have a husband. Heal me. Right now, heal me. This is not fair. And I'll never forget. I opened my eyes in that moment, and I locked eyes with another person. She was about 8 years old. She was staring at me. Beautiful blue eyes that I'll never forget. She had a surgical mask on. She had a bald head, and she was in a wheelchair, and she was being wheeled in with her father. And as she's staring at me, I can tell that she's afraid. In that moment, every ounce of self-pity disappeared. Every ounce of what I felt a microsecond ago of poor me, I can't believe this is happening to me, changed to, I'm the most blessed guy in the world. I'm 33 years old. I've got this incredible family. I'm living a boyhood dream of being a fighter pilot. And that little girl won't live to be a teenager. Help her, God. Don't help me. And the doors closed behind her. And I'm sitting here, transformed, trying to figure out what just happened. I realized that if I could decide in that moment, in the lowest moment of my entire life, how I was going to react based on connecting with another human being, having that empathy, that sense of community for a moment, and wanting to help somebody else out, that I could decide in any moment for the rest of my life. No matter how long I was going to live, I decided I'd never feel sorry for myself again, and that I was going to decide how I reacted in these circumstances. I thought about that little girl every day since then. That taught me the power of gratitude and the power of focusing on the things in your life that matter. There's a great phrase from Teddy Roosevelt where he says, comparison is the thief of all joy. We only are losing joy when we're comparing ourselves against others. If that's true, I believe that gratitude is the source of all joy. Now, I've told that story countless times. I believe that that's my survivor's obligation to continue telling that story. Well, last summer, I got the following letter from an individual after telling that story again and again. I've never read this in a public setting, by the way. Joel, in 2010, I wheeled my 8-year-old little girl into MD Anderson. She was bald, wore a mask, and had beautiful blue eyes. Her name was Christina. She was scared, but God gave her his strength and joy. She was amazing. 4 years later, she stared death in the eyes, but this time I didn't see fear there. I saw power. We tried our best to teach Christina how to live, but she taught us how to die. It was with that same belief you have now. She chose her reaction. Thank you for your reminder to me of this truth. And know that I've got your back, fighting with you on my knees in prayer, brother. That man's name is Chad. He and his wife, Melissa, are listening right now. They're in the audience. You know, it breaks my heart that my story was a part of their tragedy. But something else transcended that. Transcended the grief and the challenge and the suffering and the struggling, and that's the community. The community we're able to establish from connecting, because it turns out that probably was the little girl that I saw that day. And as I think about that, how God connects us in these moments, and how I asked him to heal me that day back in 2010, I believe he did. He didn't heal me physically. I still had a long cancer battle ahead of me, might still be in my body, but he healed me in the way that I needed, not the way that I wanted. And I'm thankful for that. At this point, I'd like to share with you Chad and Melissa's story, their daughter Christina's story, and some stories from some other amazing survivors that are living their obligation. Let's see the video.
I met a lot of really interesting people. There's one guy, he's in his 30s or 40s, and he was an American fighter pilot, but he also had stage 4 cancer. I got speaking to him, and he said that, you know, a lot of people that go through such terrible things have something called survivor's remorse. You kind of get guilty that, why did I survive? What's so special about me? But he said he wasn't going to live his life being guilty. Instead, he was going to live his life through something called survivor's obligation. He now has an obligation as a survivor to the other people that didn't survive to basically live your life to the fullest and make the most of it. And that really stuck with me.
That's good. We're killing it.
We just got off the plane. We're here in London. We flew on the red eye, super excited to be here. Very first thing that we did was to go see our friend Jack.
And I'm now still fighting. I still have an obligation to myself, to my friends, to my family. The fact that you need to make the most out of your day and just your time on this planet.
I'm about to swim the English Channel.
Unbelievable swim! Thank you, everybody. Thank you all so much. We did it!
Where did that come from?
I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay. I love the idea of working so hard that you don't think you can go another inch, but you push yourself 5 more inches. You don't think you can go another step, but you push yourself 10 more steps.
Well, this is him completing a lap around the pool at 3 years old, only 4 months after surgery to remove most of his lung. I completed an Ironman triathlon on the 5-year anniversary of beating cancer without ever having done a marathon, triathlon, or endurance event of any type.
Yeah! On our way to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro.
But you are a survivor too. If you're watching this, you've survived. Aren't those amazing stories? We know 2020 has made survivors of us all. We're all enduring right now. We're all struggling, we're all suffering, we're all facing adversity. One thing about suffering, one thing about adversity, it leaves us transformed. We don't have a choice in that matter. We all carry the scars from the previous battles, from the challenges in our lives, but there can be something else. We can choose post-traumatic growth. It's a phenomenon, it exists, and it's the opportunity to be better than before. It doesn't justify the pain, it doesn't validate the pain, but it can give it meaning. We all have an opportunity, specifically this year, to live our obligation. At this point, I have the privilege of introducing another amazing group of men and women. One of them is a dear friend of mine, Joe Koenig, a great leader, a mentor. You know, as an elite business leader. He's also a survivor. Joe.
Thanks, Joel. How the heck am I supposed to follow you on this? This wasn't fair. I'm going to have to talk to the people who coordinated this event. I don't know about this. But hey, great job. I think my few comments, you and I have chatted about this numerous times, but your focus on this post-traumatic growth, the survivor's obligation, your 3 Gs as well. I mean, we talked about this. It resonates so well with me based on, because like you, I feel that I've been given a blessing as well. I mean, there are people that have been diagnosed at the same time with the same cancer that I've had, and they're not with us today. And so I know that I've been given this great blessing, and what that means is exactly what you said. I have a responsibility, I have an obligation, and that obligation is give back. What can I do? Whether it's supporting organizations like the American Cancer Society, Siteman, cancer center, or just a one-on-one conversation with someone going through their journey. That's what I know I have to do. I feel obligated to do, and for that matter, I want to do it. So thank you for those awesome, inspiring words. I'm sure it resonated with a lot of people out there as well. And again, just allowed us for more things to think about for sure. So great job, Joel. Really appreciate that. The other thing that I know, as you know, I talked to Joel about numerous times. When I talk about my journey, I talk about a support system that boy, I was blessed to have as well. And that support system, you know, that I talk about is family, faith, friends, and by the way, a great set of clinicians and doctors that were on my team. But the one that I always spend time on is the family, right? And I think immediately to my wife, who's on my left, who was my #1 kind of champion that was with me day in, day out. And, you know, I often think, man, would I rather be the patient or the caregiver? And I'm not sure which one I'd rather be, you know, because I know that through numerous times she's felt helpless when she had to feed me through a feeding tube or bathe me because I couldn't do it, or I couldn't speak and try to, you know, get the words for me to understand what I was trying to say. And that's hard to do as a caregiver. So I wanted to thank my angel, my wife, for all the things that she did for me, because I know I probably wasn't the easiest to deal with, I'll be honest with you. But she did do such an awesome job. I'm not sure I'd be here without that. So I asked her to stand to my left and maybe come up and say a little bit from the caregiver. You heard a little bit from the caregiver on a prior video, but a little bit from her lens, what it was like and the importance of the caregiver in an overall cancer journey. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I want to echo what was previously said tonight about a caregiver's role. You know, when a family member or a friend is diagnosed with cancer, your immediate role is in place as a caregiver. And I was Joe's caregiver, and I feel grateful for that. But now, almost 4 years later, I only am becoming to understand the importance and value of that role. You know, you are their communicator, you are their pharmacist, you're their go-between between their doctors, and basically their lifeline. So I'm grateful for having the opportunity, but it's such a big role. And I think that caregivers have an enormous responsibility and so much influence, either positive or negative, to how that person deals with their cancer journey. So I'm so grateful to have Hope Lodge here in St. Louis, who can provide such a supportive, nurturing environment for people going through their cancer journey, going through cancer treatments and recovery. What a gift it is to have them in our backyard for people who are going through this battle. They take away the stress and just all the things that go along with the cancer journey that are so stressful and upsetting, and provide a peaceful, you know, gathering place. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for their presence and everyone who is battling cancer who has come forward and on their journey.
Thank you, Jim. And thanks again for what you've done for me. And I'd give her a kiss, but then I may have to kiss him, so I'm not sure I would do that. So, but anyway, no, thanks. It's so true about the caregiver, especially at the Hope Lodge, because caregivers do spend time there, obviously, as well. They're welcome, and they play a huge role within the Hope Lodge. The other part that I talk about besides family in my support system is my friends. And you know, I'm here with me to my right is my best friend, Jim Kavanaugh, who's the CEO of Worldwide Technology. I've known him since I've been 18 years old. I can't thank him enough for the support that he gave my family during my journey, and also me, obviously, and all the things he's done during and after this, because the journey, like Joel said, really doesn't end for any of us. So, Jim, thank you so much for what you've done. And then the one thing that when I got back to work, you know, someone told me that, hey, Jim's now he's on the CEO's Against Cancer as a vice chair. And I'm like, wow, I never thought he was actually on that board before. And now he's a vice chair. Wow. And he's also leading the capital campaign for the new Hope Lodge. And so I wanted Jim to join me and maybe talk a little bit about, you know, why he's involved with this and maybe the impact that he sees out there for the new Hope Lodge. Jim?
Thank you, Joe. So first of all, it's great to be here. It's really an honor.
I will have to say I was getting nervous. First of all, in the back of the room with the mask on, I thought I was a Secret Service agent. No, it's great to be here with this group. Then I was also nervous when Joe said he was going to kiss Kim and then he was going to kiss me. So there was a lot of things going through my mind. But I will just say that, it's just an honor to be here. And it's an honor to support the American Cancer Society. And it's a real honor to support my great friend, Joe Koenig here. And Joe, I'll tell you, when he was diagnosed with this, it was an absolute surprise because he was an incredibly healthy guy and such a positive attitude. And I won't go through how that came about, but there were a number of things I would say that could have been done differently that would have helped Joe in this situation, but such an incredible positive attitude. And along with Joe, as we've all gotten a little bit older, for the users that are closer to my age, you see so many people impacted by cancer. And I have way too many friends, and my great friend Joe and Kim, his wife, and people that are really close to me that I see impacted, and it's devastating. And so when this happened and the impact that I see it on so many close friends, to get involved and to get engaged and support not only Joe and to see what he has gone through and other close friends, but to really get behind the Hope Lodge. As Kim mentioned, it's such a great facility and infrastructure to support people that are in need, that don't have the funds to come in from out of town, to actually connect with the great doctors and the great healthcare facilities that we have here in St. Louis, and have the American Cancer Society behind that, supporting them mentally, physically, emotionally. It's incredible. And so from my perspective, I'm just very fortunate to be here, and fortunate to be a great friend with Joe, and to really to learn and be inspired by Joe and by other friends of mine and family members that have been through this. So anything we can all do to get behind cancer and trying to solve this terrible disease is such a worthy cause, and something I'll continue to fight for. And again, just it's a pleasure to be here and to support so many great people and my great friends. So thank you, Joe.
Well, maybe I'll close it up here and just say that, I just want to thank everyone for their continued support for this great organization and the new Hope Lodge. It's pretty easy to get behind a mission that says we're here to celebrate lives, save lives, and lead the fight for a world without cancer. That rings so well. But it does take a village of people for that to happen. So I just want to thank you all for your support in the past, for your support today, and your support in the future, because we need it. The impact is immense, and it's something that I think will continue to provide the support that's needed for the future. So thank you all. Have a great evening.
Well done, Joe. Thank you so much, guys. Here we are. We've been talking about it all night. One of the areas there at the Hope Lodge is so beautiful and impressive. I was thinking, like, if ever a dude could be called Thor, it's Joel Neeb. I mean, wow, what a message about expanding your comfort zone. And, sometimes that goes to giving as well. Giving a little bit more than you may take you out of your comfort zone a little bit, but it's growth. And it's for someone else, and helping a friend, just an incredible story between Jim and Joe and his wife, Kim. Incredible. And we want to thank you guys for your leadership in building this new Hope Lodge. We couldn't do it without you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to a pivotal point in our evening. So many have you and others have generously contributed in the reason we have the beautiful Hope Lodge, coming to life on Lendl. And we want to thank you. You heard from CJ, Michelle, and Tanya about how Hope Lodge had changed their lives. And now we prepare for patients who will need us in the years to come. It's so much about that, moving beyond the beautiful brick and mortar to fill those walls with all that's needed to sustain it as a home. Not a facility, a home. And you know, the burden carried by cancer patients doesn't go away when they arrive at Hope Lodge. The burden is lifted when they leave Hope Lodge and look forward to returning home. And that means so much to me to think about it that way, and it's a big reason why we need to continue to give. And this is the burden we carry so that cancer patients don't have to. We welcome guests. We keep Hope Lodge running so that we can also return guests home to their families. And I know you know this. Everything that happens within the walls of the beautiful new building costs about $1,000 a day. And it provides compassion and safety, rest, comfort, you know, guidance, and access to world-class health care, which is so very important. So we can't put a price on the value of it. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and give. You know, every dollar that you donate right now goes towards Hope Lodge. Absolutely. And you know, Hope Lodge is a free place to stay. Free place. But it isn't free, right? Donors like you take that burden away. And so we're talking about donations right now. Let's take a look and make sure that you do it as well right now. Prattling on here. Check this out. $978,070. I said $950, and I feel pretty good we got to that point. We need to keep going, though. We really do. I got to tell you about an incredibly generous gift, though, to the American Cancer Society. Michael Nydorf with the Centene Foundation is committed to giving $100,000 to the Hope Lodge. We have other donors, too, committing significantly to make Hope Lodge a home. Joe and Kim Koenig, you heard them. Penny Pennington and Steve Mackin as well. I just want to thank all of the donors, and make sure you're, you know, kind of taking a little note of those ones that are coming across the bottom of the screen. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. And, you know, while everyone is picking up their cell phones to donate, you know, check out the links there and go to those places if you can. Let's hear from two of our local hospital systems on the importance of the Hope Lodge.
Hi, my name is Dr. Mark Fessler. I direct the cellular therapy program here at SSM St. Louis University Hospital. We serve primarily blood cancer patients by offering autologous and allogeneic stem cell transplantation, as well as newer cellular immunotherapies known as CAR T-cell therapies. These blood cancer patients face oftentimes intensive treatments as they are going for cures of their diseases. And the Hope Lodge has been an extremely valuable collaborator for our program. It has served a number of our patients who have faced lengthy stays in St. Louis, sometimes at very far distances from their homes. The patients have given us very positive reviews on the Hope Lodge. It is a free place for them to stay that has been extremely valuable for the patients. Oftentimes insurance coverage is limited for lodging, and the Hope Lodge has served a very critical unmet need for these patients. The Hope Lodge has offered a communal setting for these patients. It's offered collaboration for them and their caregivers with other cancer patients, and it's provided them with a safe and free place to lodge close to our medical center. So we can't thank you enough. The Hope Lodge, all of you, the American Cancer Society, for supporting us and the patients with your past contributions and any future contributions that you'd be willing to make. We can't thank you enough. Thank you for helping us in this fight against blood cancers.
Hello, my name is Steve Mackin, and Mercy is proud to partner with the American Cancer Society in the Champions of Hope Gala. We're also really proud to partner with the American Cancer Society to impact breast cancer and bring essential breast cancer services to more and more Americans. It's certainly a disease that impacts many of our coworkers, our friends, and our loved ones. We're also enthusiastic supporters of the new Hope Lodge. Personally, when my father went through his long battle with lung cancer, having access to an essential service like a Hope Lodge meant all the difference in the world to him. It allowed him to access care and receive therapy. It also let him access community and a group of men and women who were also joining him in the fight. And it made all the difference in the world. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we hope that you can give and give often.
I'm telling you, I am just blown away hearing those firsthand accounts of community and support that Hope Lodge offers. Really, really awesome. You know, people come from all over the U.S., different parts of the world, actually, for cancer treatments right here in St. Louis with our incredible facilities. And many need to stay for extended periods of time. And because of you, Hope Lodge is there to help them, free of charge, as I mentioned. So there's a lot of pride here in St. Louis, and I've mentioned it before as well, what a great community we are as far as charity goes, much bigger than our population would have people believe. It's a pretty cool thing, and along with all these amazing medical centers, we are quite an attraction. You know, we all come together to ensure that no cancer patient is further burdened with the worry or financial stress because their best hope for treatment is far away. You can still have that hope, and that's just really incredible. Think about that just a little bit. You know, we are all Hope Lodge. It takes all of us, the donors, health systems, volunteers, all of that to help make cancer patients' journey, their burden just a little bit lighter. And I know me personally, it can feel at that time insurmountable, you know, what you're dealing with about overcoming it. And then there comes this wonderful place and just this goodwill that's out there. It's worth mentioning again, the event has strong leadership behind it. I've just been blown away with the support of the CEOs and the companies for this event. I want to make sure I thank Bob Clark as well for just incredible donations, so generous. And, you know, well, there's more. Let's just keep going, okay? I'm going to introduce the managing partner of Edward Jones, Penny Pennington.
Paul, thank you so much. Thank you for your energy tonight. I'm coming to you live from my home where I've enjoyed tonight's festivities so much. Bob, thank you for your leadership during such a crucial year and making these special virtual festivities happen and so engaging for all of us. For everyone, thank you for committing your time, for committing your treasure to the fight against cancer through the American Cancer Society. You know, I'm really proud to be part of two organizations that are all about the well-being of other people. Edward Jones does that every day as we serve 7 million clients all over North America, and American Cancer Society is all about that. American Cancer Society, in its operation of Hope Lodge right here in St. Louis, that takes care of cancer patients and their caregivers when they've made a long travel to be treated by our incredible facilities and medical care here in St. Louis. And American Cancer Society raising important funds to defeat cancer. In fact, American Cancer Society is the largest non-governmental provider of research funds in Missouri. And it is all about that fight against cancer, leading that fight that has affected so many of us, me personally, my family, and so many of us who are gathered together tonight. We've also had a tougher fight this year, and those who are fighting cancer and its aftermath have had a tougher fight because of COVID-19 and all of its implications. Mike and I are making an investment tonight in that fight and so proud to do so. I'm also really proud and feel so honored to follow Bob as next year's chair of the CEOs Against Cancer Gala, which is going to be November 6th, 2021. I hope so much that we'll be together in person. Until then, be well, and you still have the opportunity tonight to make an investment in that fight against cancer, that fight for hope. Thank you, and Paul, turning it back to you.
Great message, Penny, and thank you so much for next year. It's the 10th anniversary of the CEOs Against Cancer chapter, and they have some big hearts, right? Big as this wheel back here, incredibly, a really, really cool group, and I'm just so excited to be part of it a little bit this year. All right, how are we doing, people? Let's take a look. We've got to look at our thermometer here. We are flying, baby. That is incredible. Wow. Really, really nice. Holy smokes, you did it, St. Louis. Tonight has been incredible. I just can't believe how much we raised, and we continue to do it till 9 o'clock. Just don't forget about that. We try to describe how your donations will have such a profound impact in revitalizing this home away from home for those fighting cancer. I know I've said it again and again, but probably people been in and out. I want to make sure that I can convey that, even though words probably can't convey it all the way, all of the generosity. And, you know, a lot of it just comes from this little thing right here. And I think that is an exceptional thing, extraordinary. Okay, so we've got to check in with Christina. She's our in-studio artiste. And we got to go check her out right now, see what she's up to. There you are.
Here I am.
How are you? Sorry, my mask is in my back pocket, but real quickly, tell me how it looks.
I don't know. What do you think? I think it looks pretty good.
That's a good point. I am overwhelmed with it. You are never alone. And you were telling me about that picture, you know, the motivation in that earlier, and it's just exceptional. Really very cool thing. And we can bid on it, right?
Right. Yes, please do. And yeah, again, the winning bidder gets to either take it home with them or have it displayed at Hope Lodge.
I love it.
Yeah.
Did you know you were a quick artist, by the way? I mean, that's unbelievable.
I don't feel like I'm a quick artist.
No, you don't. Well, okay. I can wait. If I would have done that, that would not be a thing on. Okay. Great job tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm Paul Cookman. Just so honored to be your MC this evening. I want to make sure I get this right on behalf of Clayco, Bob and Jane Clark, the American Cancer Society. We want to make sure we thank everybody who has been part of the Champions of Hope Gala. Again, like I said, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, we're going till then. And, you know, this is the type of thing you can share with someone, this video, wherever you might find it. It's so important to think about someone you know, that news that you heard that just stopped you in your tracks. And you thought, oh, what are they going to do? You know, things like this make them... Well, it makes it all a little bit better, right? It makes you know what kind of support you have out there. So it's a very, very cool thing. All right, we're going to do one last shout out. Amazing sponsors. Also, stay tuned. Joanna Sarinko, the voice. She's unbelievable. I think she's a teenager. She's going to close out the evening. And thank you so much for watching and being with us here tonight in this extraordinary year. Thanks so much.